Hi, Shane here. You're watching Sam for God, and this is Mark. Check her out.
So hi guys, how are you doing? Today I want to talk about something that you guys actually requested me to talk about, and I basically just want to share my experiences with you on solo Disney traveling. As you guys might be aware, I go to Disneyland Paris on my own on a regular basis, and whilst often one of the reasons I'm there is because I'm doing some work for my YouTube videos and just filming stuff, I do also go for fun, and I have a great time every time I go on my own. So yeah, I thought I'd just make a very chill video chatting about my experiences on doing Disney trips on your own and how I go about doing them, and hopefully it will help some of you guys. I know quite a few of you are interested in doing some yourself, or some of you might have trips coming up that you are going on your own and you just maybe want to see how my experience was. So I don't know, I just thought I'd make a video about this. I did a poll on my Instagram story and like 90% of the people voted in it and were like, oh yeah, we want you to make a video about this, please Sam. So that's why I'm doing it. I'm pleasing the public basically. So yeah, firstly I'm going to start by saying that as a person I feel very comfortable and confident going anywhere on my own, and I've always felt like that, and I think that's a very personal and individual thing. Like some people, I have some friends for instance who don't find it as easy to even go to the cinema on their own, or even like go and eat on their own, whereas I've never had a problem with that. I've never even had a second thought about it. Like, you know, the first time I went just to see something on my own, it was when I went to see Wicked, the musical, on my own, and I must have been about, I don't know, maybe 19 or 20 years old at the time, and I didn't even think about like how weird it might be or how scary it might be, and I just went, and that's just me. So I understand that in some ways I think I'm lucky, because in my personality, the way I am just makes me feel very comfortable and confident being on my own. Some people might be a lot more extroverted. Like, I'm an extroverted person, but I think I do have some introverted qualities as well. But I feel like if someone's, for instance, very extroverted, they always need company, they always want to be around people, they might find it a bit more difficult to go on solo Disney trips. But like I said, anyone can do it and anyone can have fun going on a solo Disney trip. And yeah, there are just a few things to keep in mind before you go on your very first solo Disney trip. So for me, one of the best things, like one of my absolute favourite things about going to Disneyland on my own, is the fact that I can take it at my own pace. I can do whatever I want, whenever I want. I can take my time as much as I want, wherever I want. And for me, that's one of the best pros of doing Disney on your own. And you won't understand how freeing and incredible that feeling is until you do one yourself. Like, just imagine going to Disneyland and being there on your own and looking at the castle and being like, wow, and then just wanting to stay there, standing there looking at the castle for like 10 minutes, and then finding this random beautiful thing maybe on Main Street USA that you want to take a nice picture of, and not having to worry about the fact that, you know, you've got friends or family members or anyone around that wants to like speed things up and do things quickly. You can just be like, I'm just going to take 15 minutes out of my time and get that perfect picture that I want to take. And then later on, for instance, if you're tired, if you've kind of been on a few rides, you can just sit down somewhere for as long as you want. Again, you don't have to worry at all about anyone else's worries. And obviously that's not to say it's not fun to go with other people. Like, I obviously also enjoy going with my friends and stuff, like it's great, but it's just a nice change sometimes to be able to take everything at your own pace and do everything as you like. I'm a very spontaneous person when it comes to Disney trips. I hate organization, I hate planning things in advance. It literally ruins the fun for me, it really does. And again, that's just me as a person. My personality does not enjoy planning things ahead so in detail. That's one of the reasons why I don't particularly enjoy Disney World, for instance, because of the planning they have to do beforehand. And so for that reason, solo Disney trips just work so perfectly for me, because I don't have to worry about where I want to go next. I just go and see where my legs take me, literally. Like, I go to Disney, I never plan anything. If I'm going on my own to a Disney park, I don't think beforehand what I'm going to do. Obviously, if I'm going to film some stuff for YouTube, then yes, I'm like, okay, I need to go to this place and film that video or whatever. But when I'm there just to have fun, I don't ever plan anything ahead, and it's honestly the best thing ever. Like, I go on a ride and I'm like, oh, okay, that was fun. What do I fancy doing now? Might be fun to go and meet Winnie the Pooh now. Oh, let's go and see what the queue's like. Oh, that's alright, I'm going to do this now. What about Mickey? How's the queue for Mickey? Oh, that's a bit long, I'm not going to do that. Like, it's so great to be able to do whatever you want, not have to stick to plans, like not have to worry that, oh, other people wanted to do this now, and now I want to do this, so like, oh my god, they're going to be upset. It's just so great. You get the idea. I feel like I can go on about how great this situation is forever, but I feel like you understand what I'm trying to say. It's just really nice and freeing to be able to take your time. And one of my favorite things in any Disney park, like I said again, is to take my time. I don't enjoy running from place to place. I don't enjoy that at all. And again, like I said, some people might prefer that method, the method of like going from one ride to another, and oh my god, we don't want to waste time, let's go to another ride now immediately, let's do that ride again, oh no, we need to like go and meet this character and now go and watch this parade, and like constantly being like bam bam bam. I don't like that. I very much enjoy taking things in when I'm in a Disney park. I like walking slowly sometimes. I like being like, oh my god, let's just check this bit out, like not constantly going from place to place. That's just not my style. Another thing that's obviously great about doing Disney trips on your own is that you can make the most out of single rider queues, and obviously not every single ride has a single rider queue, but most of them do, especially most of the kind of bigger roller coaster ones, like in Disneyland Paris, for instance, Space Mountain. Oh my god, it's got a single rider queue and it's amazing. I've used it so many times, and it's just so nice to be able to make the most of it and like see the other line, the other queue, and be like, whoa, that's like an hour long, whereas I'm only waiting about 5 or 10 minutes. So that's a given. Obviously, if you're going on a solo Disney trip, don't forget to make the most of single rider lines. If you're not sure which rides have a single rider queue, go and ask the cast member or something, because you don't want to miss out on this. Like, it will save you a lot of time. Another great thing that I just remembered is probably worth mentioning as well is just the fact that from the start, before you even go on your holiday, you're in complete control as to where you want to stay, what kind of holiday you want to go on. Like, it's just you, so you don't have to worry about the people's like, you know, budgets or, you know, preferences. And I think that as well is really good. I feel like I've been able to be a lot more maybe relaxed and free with the things and the choices that I make whilst I'm on a Disney trip on my own, because again, it's just me. I don't have to consult other people about my decisions. For like, whenever I go on a Disneyland Paris trip on my own, I always make a point to go to Cafe Fantasia in Disneyland Hotel, and that's something that not necessarily everyone I go to always wants to go, because they might find other things more exciting. They might be like, oh, I'd rather spend that time in the park doing rides or whatever, whereas for me, I really love it. And again, another thing is that the money as well, the cost issue. Some people might just not want to spend money on stuff like that, and that's absolutely fine. But like I said, it's just nice to be able to do what you want, and maybe sometimes even treat yourself. Like, if there's something that's a bit more expensive that you've always wanted to do and none of your friends or family members want to do it when you're there on your own, because when else would you get a chance to do it? And it's just going to be as fun, you know. Obviously, I vlog, so I'm almost always talking to a camera when I'm on a Disney trip, and that's great because it almost feels like I'm talking to a friend. Like, whenever I come off a ride or, you know, have an amazing experience at Disneyland, I obviously share it on my YouTube channel on my camera, and that feels like sharing it with a friend in a way. And that's great, because sometimes I feel like if you go on a very long Disney trip on your own, like I've only ever done solo Disney trips for about 3 days maximum, I feel like maybe if you're there on your own for longer, maybe you might get a bit bored of like not talking to people, like actual people. Of course, there's like social media, and I think that's one of my biggest tips. Even if you don't do YouTube, even if you're not a YouTuber or a vlogger, I feel like social media can be very helpful if you're going on a Disney trip on your own, because just sharing your pictures and like maybe videos and stuff and whatever on social media with your friends can make it seem that they're there as well, and it's more exciting for you just to kind of be able to share the magic, I guess, with other people. I will say that I think it's important to not be too focused on social media when you're in Disney on your own, because that can easily happen, because you're there on your own and you've got your phone, and your phone's like your main access to everyone else that you know in your life. You might be tempted to constantly be on it, and I think the best thing to do is to not do that. Like, stop yourself, because then really you're not going to enjoy it. Like, you know, you want to be able to take things in properly, you want to be able to live in the moment and like actually see things, and not constantly, you know, see everything through a lens of your like phone or whatever. I'd say the best way is to keep your social media time for when you're in the queues. Like, if you're waiting in the line, or maybe if you're in a restaurant or just waiting for food or whatever, use that time to go on social media and post stuff, and like you spend the rest of the time just enjoying your life. That brings me on to another thing, which is restaurants. Don't be scared at all to go and have a proper sit-down meal in a Disney park on your own. I know it can be intimidating, I understand, but I promise you it's absolutely fine, and cast members are completely welcoming. They won't judge you, they'll be absolutely fine. In fact, they'll probably talk to you a bit more if they realise that you're there on your own, because they want to make your experience as best as possible, and they're probably going to be very friendly to you. It's not weird. Like, please don't feel like you're going to be judged by anyone, and if you feel like, oh, people are, you know, watching me, oh my god, everyone thinks I'm crazy, what, because I'm here on my own and everyone's there with their families, who cares? Because you're probably not going to see the people around you again, ever again. Like, that's their opinions. They probably aren't even thinking that about you anyway. They're probably just like looking around. Like, you're just making things up in your head. Don't worry, go and enjoy a sit down meal. It's going to be amazing. Yeah, just do it. Like, I've had sit down meals just in London on my own. I do it quite often actually. If I'm working somewhere in London or whatever and I just have like a spare hour or two and none of my friends are around and I fancy this sit down restaurant, like I just fancy going for a steak and chips or whatever, I just do it. I don't care. It doesn't matter. You can easily dine on your own. It's great. It's actually a great time for you to think about things, or like I said, go on social media, maybe post a few things. Sorry about the noise outside. My window's open because it's really hot in London at the moment. But yeah, don't feel like you can't do sit down meals just because you're there on your own. I have to say, I haven't yet done a character meal on my own. I don't see any problem with that either. I feel like that can easily be done as well as a solo traveler, because cast members in Disney are always so great. And yes, you might worry that there's not going to be anyone to take your photo with the characters when they come to your table, but I think that if you just get one of the waiters or a cast member around and ask them to take a picture of you or just take a selfie, like, it's going to be absolutely fine. In fact, again, I feel like if you're there in a restaurant, in a character meal restaurant on your own, like I said, I've not done it, but I feel like maybe potentially the characters might give you a bit more time and more attention because you're there on your own. I don't know. If you've done a character meal on your own before, leave comments down below and let me know what your experience was like. Having said that, of course, counter service restaurants are an option as well if you're there on your own. I tend to normally go to counter service restaurants just because I don't want to spend a lot of money, to be honest. Like, when I'm there on my own, I feel like I don't want to spend too much money on sit down restaurants, and to be fair, I've done literally almost all of the restaurants in Disneyland Paris already, so I don't feel the need to go to them again on my own when I'm there. But you know, Disneyland Paris and especially Disney World, like, I've not necessarily done a solo trip to Disney World yet, but most Disney parks have amazing counter service restaurants and they are perfect if you're there on your own. You can get some great food and enjoy your life and not spend a lot of money and not spend a lot of time either, and life will be great. I touched on getting help from cast members if you're in a restaurant and you want them to take a picture and stuff, but that applies to anywhere in the park. So if you're walking anywhere in the park and you want a picture of yourself with this background or whatever, I promise you that cast members will help you. All you need to do is find a cast member and be like, oh, would you mind taking a few pictures of me in front of this cute thing or by the castle? Or I even once got a cast member, this was in Disney World, I was in Magic Kingdom on my own for a day last year, and I literally got one of the cast members to film me an outfit of the day, and she was so lovely. I'm telling you, Disney cast members are fantastic, and as long as you ask them nicely and as long as they don't have to be anywhere else, they'll be happy to take your photos or videos or whatever you want for you. So don't be shy, don't be worried. They want to help you, they want to make your like experience magical, and there's nothing wrong to go and ask a cast member to take a photo of you or 5 photos of you. I also tend to ask a lot of other visitors there. Like, I don't just limit myself to cast members. If I see like a family just like wanting to take some photos in front of the cast, I might go up to them and be like, would you like me to take a picture of you? And once I've done a few pictures of them, I always try my best as well. Like, I literally give people photo shoots. If people ask me to take a picture of them, I like go all out. And then normally after that I'm like, oh, would you mind taking one of me as well? Or sometimes I don't even take photos of them, I just go straight up to someone and I'm like, oh, would you mind taking a photo of us? And I'm not scared to like tell them exactly how I want my photos either. And like I said, there's no reason to be scared, and I think this is something that if you're a bit more shy, it will come with experience. The more you ask, the more you realize there's nothing wrong with it. And that's another tip that I have: just talk to people. Don't be scared to talk to people and maybe chat to people when you're in a queue for a ride. Make some casual friends whilst you're in queues and stuff, because people are friendly and you're in Disney and everyone's in a good mood normally, and that might help you as well. Like, I have actual verbal communication with people, because like I said, you're on your phone and you can speak to your friends and stuff and your family through text and stuff, but it would be nice to just be able to talk to people every now and again as well. Like, I do that all the time. I tend to speak to strangers very easily and a lot, so I enjoy it, and I feel like you can too. The last thing I want to say is that of course your safety is very important, and when you go anywhere in the world, not just a Disney holiday, but if you just go on a normal trip, if you just leave your house to go to, like, I don't know, the shop or something, you always need to be careful about your safety. That obviously applies to anything, and it applies to when you go to Disney as well. And yes, you might feel a little bit more vulnerable maybe because you're there on your own, but that doesn't mean you have to be scared the whole time. At the end of the day, you're in Disney, the security there is fantastic, and whilst that doesn't necessarily mean that nothing will ever happen and that you shouldn't be careful, you shouldn't constantly be like scared either. Just be safe. Like, from the start, try and book somewhere that you know have heard good reviews of, like a hotel that you feel comfortable in and you know you're going to be safe in. Obviously, if you're walking back from the park to your hotel late at night, just make sure you're aware of your surroundings and that kind of stuff. I always have my phone in my hand if I'm walking somewhere late at night, not even just in Disney, just like anywhere, just to make sure I can like quickly like contact someone if something happens. But like I said, the chances of anything happening are very, very low, but you do have to be careful, and that's just something that you should always be like, you should always be careful. Never listen to loud music, for instance, if you're walking somewhere late at night. I never do that. I love listening to my music, and I do it in the daytime when it's busy and I feel a bit more safe, but when it's really quiet, I don't do that, because I want to make sure I can hear my surroundings. And that's just, like I said, tips on being safe. And don't go too crazy on it, don't be too cautious, but also do make sure that you have taken the kind of basic safety precautions before you go on a Disney trip, and also whilst you're on it. And I believe that's it. I feel like I've talked about everything I wanted to talk about anyway. Oh yeah, one last thing is that one thing that you might notice when you're there on your own, if you're used to always being on Disney trips with other people, is that little things, like probably one of the few things that like annoys me about being on a Disney trip on my own is maybe if I want to go to the toilet or whatever and I don't have anyone to give my bag to so they can look after it whilst I go to the toilet. The little things like that might annoy you, so just be aware that there will be little inconveniences throughout your trip, but they'll be so little that you won't care, and you will find ways to go about it. Like, obviously not the most ideal situation to like have to take your suitcase and your bag to the toilet cubicle, but sometimes you have to do it and you'll find ways around it, and that's fine. You will grow as a person, I promise you. If you've never been on a Disney trip on your own, if you've never been on a normal trip on your own, do it, because it will change you. You will learn a lot about yourself, it will make you more confident, and you will have a great time, I promise. But yeah guys, that's all I'm going to talk about today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you maybe learned something and you found it useful in some way or another. Leave comments down below if you've been to a Disney trip on your own before, or if you're going on one on your own. Any questions that you might have, I'll be happy to answer them in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye!